Robert Mueller's special counsel investigation has gone on for what seems like several lifetimes. NPR just did an unintentionally hilarious piece, like many of its pieces, about sad elderly liberals who were dying without the chance to read the Mueller report. It's their final regret. Well, for many on the left, Mueller's takedown of the president is what they live for, literally, according to NPR. So what happens if the report doesn't really have anything in it at the end? Over at ABC, Terry Moran just warned about the possible effect of that scenario. Watch.
The central and most serious question in this investigation, the reason Robert Mueller started it, is did the current president of the United States assist the Kremlin in an attack on our democracy? And if Mueller, after 2 years, comes back and says, I don't have the evidence to support that charge, that's a reckoning. That's a reckoning for progressives and Democrats who hoped that Mueller would essentially erase the 2016 election. It's a reckoning for the media. It's a reckoning around the country if, in fact, after all this time, there was no collusion.
Yeah, you think? It might be time for some people to apologize. Not one of them ever will. You can bet your house on that. Nancy Pelosi seems concerned that Russian collusion might not be in the report, might not be proved by the report in any case. Today she warned that a push toward impeachment against the president may not be worth it. But the party's base, represented by Maxine Waters of California, is not deterred.
I believe that we have everything that it needs to basically impeach him. Yeah. I believe that, and you're absolutely right. We're depending on Mr. Mueller.
Dan Bongino is a former Secret Service officer. He's the author of the great book Spygate, The Attempted Sabotage of Donald J. Trump, and he joins us tonight. Dan, thanks a lot for coming on. So that is kind of the bottom line question. If the report comes out, and there are rumors in any case that its release is imminent, and it doesn't show that the Trump campaign colluded with the Kremlin to subvert the election, what are the press going to say?
Nothing. First, let me say, Tucker, I'm happy to be here with you tonight. And I sincerely mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Dan, and I'm glad you're here. And I hope we will see you many times in the long future.
You know it, before the rage mob, ever. We can all be better, Tucker. I know it's not what you brought me on for. But don't ever take a knee in front of the rage mob. Ever. Ever. Okay, moving on, because that's not what I'm here to talk about.
You're cracking me up.
But what will happen with the media? Nothing will happen. Here's how the media handles Republican scandals. They cover it until somebody leaves office or is punished. I mean, it started with Watergate. It ended just recently with Trump cabinet officials who they had some kind of they'd take a flight on a private plane. He had to go. They got to get rid of all these people. With Democrat scandals, however, they'll cover the story. I mean, no one can deny they covered the Clinton email story. But Tucker, who's been punished on that? Here's the answer. Nobody. A big fat zero. And there are no demands from the media that anybody be punished. Matter of fact, they cover for her constantly. Nothing. Listen, tape this show and peg this to your YouTube account or whatever, folks. Nothing will happen. They will move on. They will not be embarrassed, horrified, and disgusted like normal, rational people who make mistakes like you and I would be. They won't do any of that. None of that will happen.
So Al Capone's vault is finally opened, and there's nothing in it, and they pretend it's full of gold. I mean, we wouldn't have had this investigation or any of these investigations without the core claim that there was collusion. No collusion, no legitimacy. So, I mean, I guess there's nothing we can do about that.
Tucker, think about this, right? We have heard nothing, not a scintilla, a shred of evidence that Trump colluded with foreign Russian actors to overthrow the election. Not a scintilla of evidence that any of that is true, correct? Now, we do know, as a matter of fact, that the dossier, this fake thing, was used to spy on the Trump team. Now, this additional information that's going to come out is described three different ways. I wrote it down. Jim Comey described it as the dreaded air quotes here, the mosaic of information, right? John Brennan described it as the corpus of intelligence. And Andy McCabe described it as articulable facts. Articulable meaning, is somebody ever going to articulate what these facts are? Because all we have is a hoax dossier. And we've heard about this for 2 years. Is anyone ever going to articulate what the actual facts facts are? The answer is no, because there are no facts. You all got worked, and I'm sorry, but you're a moron if you believe in this collusion hoax. I'm really sorry to tell you that, but you're really stupid because you believe in something, you believe in an Aesop's fable. There is no evidence. This did not happen. You believe in Sasquatch. No, there's more evidence of Sasquatch than there is. At least there's photos. They may be fake, but there's photos. There is no evidence of collusion.
I think there's a pelt out there, a hair sample. I don't know if that's true.
There's footprints, right?
It is great to see you. You're in fuego tonight. I love it. Thank you, Dan.
I had to be. Thanks, buddy.